I drank a bit here and there in college to overcome social anxiety, which I think a lot of people in college have. It messed me up like crazy. I would start to have a hangover during the drinking. And what I get from drinking at this point is mostly blurred vision and extra stupidity. I want to have fun, but I'm really just kind of half blind. You can drink, but you have to know that it's going to cost you potential muscle growth. And so for me, drinking is done in almost all cases. But what about for you? Hey folks, Dr. Mike here for RP Strength, and I want to tell you about why I quit alcohol for good. Now, here's the thing. I am going to be yucking some yum here, and I don't like doing that. I hate morally proselytizing people. If you want life advice and morality discussions, I have a whole different channel just called Mike Israetel that has literally like almost everything is about life advice and morality stuff. So give that a look. This is not the channel for that. So before we dive into drinking and why I don't really drink anymore, I just want to make super clear that if you're drinking and you're staying safe, God bless you. In moderation, drinking is not a huge deal. It can be super fun. So just fucking rock on. But let me tell you why I personally really just don't drink anymore. Here's my story with drinking. Scott, this is going to be tough. I thought I was ready, but here we go. I can still remember a cold crisp of the biting air that night on the I-278 freeway. It was the off-ramp. She was my everything, my world, and I held her now lifeless body in my arms. Gertrude! I screamed out into the ether in pure agony, but she was no longer. Just 18 shots of Jack Daniels, Scott, in 1 hour usually had me feeling mighty fine and didn't impair my driving. But on the way back home that night from our date, the alcohol finally caught up. You guys, I swerved into a passing semi-truck and it ripped the entire passenger side of the car out, ending Gertrude's life and my drinking for good. Psych! Hey, do you guys think anyone actually bought that shit? Who's named Gertrude anymore nowadays? Scott, how can you pull off as a girl the name Gertrude? You just have to be mega hot, right?
I guess.
Oh, really, Scott? You would turn down an ultra hot Gertrude?
I would.
Sorry, Gertie. It's not 1942 anymore. In any case, maybe that was a little too much. Here's the real story of why I gave up alcohol, and it's significantly more lame. So I thought I'd give you guys a little bit of a, fun little aside here. I drank a bit here and there in college. Every few months, I would decide to drink with my friends to overcome social anxiety, which I think a lot of people in college have. But as I got older and I got more experience talking to people and especially coaching and especially teaching, and then eventually on the seminar travel circuit and definitely on social media, YouTube and Instagram and stuff like that, public speaking is a thing that you do it enough, you just lose your social anxiety almost altogether. So legitimately, I just kind of don't get social anxiety anymore. And at the same time, during that process of my social anxiety reducing massively, my drinking, I would do less and less. And when you do something less and less, you tend to suck at it more. A lot of people, Scott, I'm sure you've heard this before. People are like, man, I'm just too old. I can't handle alcohol like I used to. And for me, I have a hypothesis. Almost every single time it is not a factor of age. It's that you're out of practice, because when you were in college, you were a fucking alcoholic. And so you handled your drinks really well. The 55-year-old guy at the Russian party, Scott, he's been drinking his whole life. He handles alcohol better than you would ever believe. And he's really old. But how is that possible? Because he does it a lot. You feel me? What's your opinion on that?
Got practice.
It's not like an age thing. It's like, I'm just not young anymore. Like, I don't know. When I was young, I handled alcohol like shit. And I was still very young. But a few years later, when I drank very little, I handled it even worse. Let me tell you what my alcohol experience was like more recently. When I was drinking, what I did is it messed me up like crazy. I would start to have a hangover during the drinking. I get dry mouth and headaches like while I'm out partying, which is like, wasn't this supposed to happen later? And what I get from drinking at this point is mostly blurred vision and extra stupidity. Scott, did you know that those are like the first two things to go for me? Like, especially the blurred vision. Like, my vision just blurs like after 2 drinks, and I'm like, I feel sober, but I can't walk around anymore.
That's fun.
I want to have fun, but I'm really just kind of half blind. And so I used to vibe with alcohol hard, but then especially once I started taking semaglutide and then tirzepatide, my hangovers in the 3 times that I drank on those drugs ever would last like 2.5 days because the shit slows down your gastric motility and the alcohol poisons living out of you for longer. I was like, nah, bro, we're done. And so for me, drinking is done in almost all cases. But what about for you? Let's talk about the downsides of drinking to your fitness journey. You can drink, but you have to know that it's going to cost you potential muscle growth. And that's a very important phrasing. I'm going to do my Jordan Peterson, Scott. Well, I'm very particular about my words because it's important how you say things. I mean, what do you think's going to happen? It wasn't the greatest impression. In most cases, drinking will not make you lose muscle. You'll see people who drink in college, and they're the same bros that look like they have tons of muscle in the gym, and you're like, somebody lied to me. However, drinking will let you gain less muscle. And remember, you train fucking hard, and you eat right, and you get plenty of sleep. You're doing so much work to gain as much muscle as you can. When you're drinking, you'll gain less. This happens both indirectly by reducing recovery and impairing sleep quality. That's really bad. And directly by reducing both testosterone and anabolic cellular pathway activity directly from the interference of alcohol. But don't worry, it gets worse because drinking has massive downsides to the fat loss process as well. Drinking makes fat gain easier and fat loss harder. It adds calories that prevent fat from being burned because alcohol cuts in line into the fat utilization process ahead of fats. So let's say you ate 50 grams of fat in a meal, and typically it would get burned off over the course of several hours to keep your body functioning. Then you drank alcohol as well. The alcohol cuts in line for that fat and just starts getting burned off for energy. And then hours later, you've burned off all the alcohol, but the 50 grams of fat's not just sitting around for no reason. It's going to be stored away as body fat. And that's one of the main ways in which alcohol makes you fatter or prevents you from losing fat. It also messes with sleep quality and quantity, which really hurts fat loss like crazy in study after study. And to make a bonus round feature, it makes the chances that you'll crave high-calorie junk food excessively way higher. Scott, what's it like to follow a diet when you're super drunk?
I mean, impossible, really.
Can you imagine you drink a ton with your buddies and you get home and you heat up like a broccoli and chicken meal and like you just want Taco Bell? Like,
yeah, and like what you don't realize is the drinks themselves even add up so damn quick. It's like almost impossible to diet and drink.
Yes.
You have like 3 drinks, you're like, oh, that was half of my calories for the day. Cool.
Yes. Damn. Yes. Terrible. Now, it does help. Drinking does help with socializing. Right? Right? Padme and Anakin meme? Maybe? Let's find out. So don't get me wrong. A good buzz can make you float around the party like a sauced up butterfly, 100%. The butterflies make noises. But alcohol has some downsides to socialization. It can occasionally make you say some audacious shit and misread social interactions. You can see this at every bar in America. It radically degrades your intelligence while you're drunk, which in more intellectual discussions, darling, fancy cocktail parties, what do you think about Elon Musk's push to increase compute hardware? Quite audacious in this investment period, yes. And you're like, I want to throw up. It doesn't exactly fit in. So it brings the interaction down a notch. It can also make a lot of folks kind of rude and a bit more confrontational. Scott, remember that one almost bar fight you got into? Not on your own accord. Someone's trying to start shit with you.
I do.
Some people just shouldn't be drinking, I guess.
Yes, yeah. That person for sure.
That person for sure. Basically, Scott and his buddies were standing around the bar, and this guy just randomly started to talk to them and just started talking shit and just trying to get at it. And I was not there. That's for the best. Because you know me, man. I see red and...
Oh, boy.
You just don't want to f with me, man.
He actually threatened to throw us out the second-story window that we were standing near.
Yeah,
somehow.
Wow. Yeah, I would say all kinds of shit like, really? The mechanics of that, explain them to me. You're going to pick me up. Scott, was he enormous and super jacked and an MMA fighter? Yeah, they never really are. Huh? So if you're drunk, other drunk people seem like what they're saying is so funny and cool. But if you're sober or just not as drunk, man, drunk people can come off really dumb and not funny. Scott, when's the last time you've been stone sober around really drunk people?
It's awful.
It's awful, right? You're like, whoa, this is the worst. And they're like having the time of their life, but you're like, you guys are saying like 3 words a minute. This is terrible. So yes, drinking can be fun, but you have to ask yourself, is it your best vibe? And the answer may be yes. The answer may be no. So why I quit drinking for good is that for me, the lack of any more social upside really, and the major muscle and fat dynamic downsides keep me from drinking outside of special and usually really regrettable occasions. And every time I drink, I'm like, this is a mistake. I shouldn't have done it. I can vibe drug-free. I can vibe on weed. I can vibe on shrooms. I can vibe on acid, baby. I've actually never tried acid before, but you get it. Not alcohol. Here's the thing. If you don't drink, it's overrated. Don't bother. If you do drink, just know the trade-offs. Try to drink a bit less and get more out of being buzzed versus drunk AF. When you're drinking, in the process of drinking and you're already buzzed, it's so easy to fall into the trap of thinking that the more you drink, the more fun you'll have. But usually fun tops out at a moderate buzz of about 3 to 5 drinks for many people, 2 to 3 drinks for girls. And after that, you're just having a worse time, but probably not aware of it. Scott, is that kind of your shit when you go out with friends and drink, like 3 to 5 drink situation?
Yeah.
When's the last time you had like 7 drinks in a night?
I can't remember.
Right.
I can't remember.
What about in college? When's the last time you didn't have 7 drinks?
Yeah, exactly.
Right? Yeah.
2 to 3 times a week.
Yeah.
For sure.
Shoot for the buzz, not for being sloppy, because sloppy could be fun in your head, but your friends are probably sick and tired of you. Give it some thought. If you're drinking, love and respect, be safe. Definitely don't drive or operate heavy machinery. If you're not drinking, amazing. You're doing your body, your mind, and your muscles an awesome service. Alrighty. That's been my sermon. See you guys next time, but drunk. Peace.